Welcome to a video where I'm going to explain a little more about using LibreTexts and the OER Remixer. You can see on my page that I am at the commons.libretext.org homepage. To navigate to the Remixer, there are a few steps. So I'm going to first log into Conductor. You should use the Campus SSO login with your CCC email and password. I have a manually created account, so my login process looks a little bit different. Once you are logged in, you'll see your Conductor dashboard. From the dashboard, you'll want to click into Libraries at the top of the page and select the appropriate library for your subject. This should match with one of the libraries that you selected when you were requesting your instructor account. I'll click into Humanities. This will bring me out to the LibreText Libraries dashboard for the Humanities library. If I am launching a new project, I'm going to want to come over to the blue bar on the side and click Tools and click on OER Remixer. This is the dashboard in which you will create a shell for your OER project. This shell is really just the title of the book, the title of the chapters, and the titles of any sub-pages within chapters. This is not going to be where you are adding or editing content within the chapters, but this is really where you are building the outline. I suggest that you start out with an outline in mind, or an outline already prepared on an outside document so that you can create the outline in LibreTexts all at one time. Working off of your outline, you should be able to use the remixer to double click on any element. This is the top element, so this is the title of my book. So let's say that I am creating an introduction to library sciences textbook. I'll just click Save Edits, and now we can see in the outline that the title of the book is saved. Don't worry too much about changing up the front matter right now. This is kind of going to be populated as you're editing the book. You have multiple options here. If you are creating a brand new OER, so you're not reusing any content that's already published, you can come in and just edit your chapter titles. Say, welcome to LIB 101. And click on the chapter title once and use the plus button at the top to create a new sub-page for that section. Don't worry about putting your pages in the right place. You can drag and drop these to new locations and even delete them with the delete page button at the top. So you'll want to come in and populate all of your chapter and page titles here. You can add a chapter by clicking on the title of the book and clicking on New Page. Double click the chapter to rename it and drag it to where it belongs in order. You also have the option to add in materials from OER that are already in LibreTexts. So you can come over to the library panel and look at bookshelves. So I could go into research and information literacy. And I can select, let's say I know that I want a chapter from doing research. I can drag this over and I'll have the entire chapter located in the outline of my book. I can do this with as many books or chapters or pieces of information within the LibreTexts library as I want. I can also look at different libraries outside of the library that I'm creating my book in. So I can look at social sciences, for example, and look at communication studies. And I might look at journalism. And maybe I want to add in a chapter on mass communication, media, and culture. So you can see as I'm adding these that the content that is already created, I'm just going to make this its own chapter. I can see that the content that's already created, the titles, are copying over. I do have the option to come into this chapter and say delete the advertising page if I want to, or even delete some of these sub-pages within the chapter pages. I can also double click and change the page title if I so choose. Once I've finished creating my book outline by titling all of my chapters, creating and titling my sub-pages, and copying over whatever content I want from the LibreTexts library, I'll want to save the outline to the server. So I click on Save to the Server, and this brings me to a new page where I can just see an overview of what I've done here. It's telling me that I have 10 blank pages because these are pages that I either named and did not copy anything over, or I just left unnamed. And it's telling me that I am copying over 103 pages from the materials that I copied into my outline from the LibreTexts library. If I am good to go with that, I'll click Save to the Server again, and it will begin to remix what I've selected. It will tell you how much time you have left. It should not take too long. And when it's done creating that book for you, you'll have a link at the bottom of this box that says your new text will be available here. I highly recommend that you right-click that link and copy it and paste it into either your outline document or a place that you are keeping track of everything. LibreTexts can be a little bit difficult to navigate and to find the right page. So having that link saved will make sure that you can always get back to your book when you need to be editing. So that concludes an overview of how to use the OER Remixer to create a new OER book in LibreTexts. I will film another video in a moment about getting into the book and editing the content.